Alright, you want a sip? What's up, YouTube? It's your boy John from Project Ellsworth, and I am back with you today for this week's edition of Fright Flick Friday. Get your popcorn ready. Welcome to Fright Flick Friday. This is just my series where I give you a brief rundown of the movies I watched over the last week. This week I had a little bit of life happen for me. I had to run and pick my mom up about an hour and a half away. I had to pick her up on Monday. I had to drop her off on Thursday. So I had about 6 hours of driving and 4 days of a visitor who doesn't like horror movies. So unfortunately I only got to 4 movies this week, but the 4 that I did get to were all pretty darn good. First up we have We Summon the Darkness. I got a request from the Souless Trenchcoat, known as Trenchy, on here. Check out his YouTube channel, it's pretty awesome. This movie was about 3 girls, was it 4? I think it was 3. 3 girls who were going to a heavy metal concert. They were taking a road trip in a van, and they go to this concert. They run into a group of 3 other guys, so yeah, I think it was 3 girls. Doesn't matter. Really, honestly, it doesn't matter. They run into 3 other guys, and after the concert, the girls convince the guys to come back and do a bit of partying with them. The guys actually initially asked the girls, do you guys want to come party with us? The night's young. We can go jump in the back of our van. These guys are driving around in what looks like a mystery van, or a mystery machine from Scooby-Doo. The girls say, well, wait a minute, let's talk. They go have a conversation, then they invite the boys back to their place. The leader of this pack is Alexandra Daddario, who's always enjoyable to look at. And they get the guys back to where they're going. She's staying at her father's house, which is about an hour away, I believe she said it was. And once they get back to the house, things take a drastic turn. And what you think is about to happen isn't quite what happens, but it was pretty interesting. It was a pretty well-made movie. You could tell that it wasn't the biggest budget in the world, but it was definitely entertaining. I mean, I wasn't in love with it, but I didn't hate it either. I would say that I liked it. I thought it was a good movie, not a great movie. That's available on Netflix, by the way. That's where I watched it. Trenchy told me to go over to Netflix, check it out, and I did. I know that I also saw it in Walmart on DVD for like $10 or $12 or something like that. And I almost picked it up, and now I'm glad that I didn't because I got to watch it for free on Netflix, and it really wasn't something that I'm going to run back and watch again. So it was nice to be able to watch it without buying the DVD. Next up, I finally sat down and watched something that I've been looking forward to watching for a really long time. The Taking of Deborah Logan. I sat down to try and watch this movie a couple of years ago, and I don't remember what happened, but I had to get up and leave. I couldn't finish watching the movie, and I've never gone back to revisit it. Yesterday morning, I sat down to watch it, and I couldn't watch it because my mother was here, and she said she didn't want to watch a horror movie. So last night, when I got home, I ran out with my son. When we got home, we watched The Taking of Deborah Logan. This movie pretty much scared my son to death, and I loved every bit of it. He said he was scared, but it was scared in a good way, so that's a good sign. This movie is shot in a found footage documentary style. Deborah Logan is suffering from Alzheimer's. So a crew is hired to film her regression into that disease. And in doing so, they are going to help pay for the rent in Deborah Logan's home because they're behind on the rent. Things have fallen, because of the Alzheimer's, she's just not doing things the way she's supposed to be doing. So this is going to benefit the film crew because I believe it was for a college project, as well as benefit the Logan family as it's going to help them get their bills caught up. But after they begin filming this movie, things start to go a little bit sideways. It's not quite what they expected it to be. Deborah, she's acting very strangely. It's not something that seems to be Alzheimer's. It seems to be a little bit more than that. She's lashing out. She's hurting herself. She's disappearing in the middle of the night. This movie was fantastic. If I find this movie, it's free on Amazon. Well, it's not free. I pay for Prime, or we pay for Prime, I should say. so it isn't exactly free, but it's there for me to watch whenever I want to watch it. I actually want to own this movie. I'm going to look it up and see if I can buy this on Blu-ray. It's fantastic. Very, very, very well made. Very creepy and scary. It's just, you have a very uneasy feeling in this movie almost from the beginning. It's shot in a way that it actually kind of reminded my son of the M. Night Shyamalan movie The Visit. It felt like that, and it did. It had like, there were a few scenes there that definitely felt like that. The same filming style with a handheld camera running around, chasing Deborah Logan in this case. But it's a very good movie. I don't know if it's available on Netflix, but I do know it's available on Prime because I just watched it yesterday. So if you get a chance to watch The Taking of Deborah Logan, check it out. That movie is fantastic. Next up was another one that I've been waiting to watch for a while. It's 2007's The Poughkeepsie Tapes. I had a cousin years and years ago who moved away and moved to Poughkeepsie, and I think that is the only other mention of the town of Poughkeepsie that I've ever heard in my life. So when I saw that this movie was made, I thought that was kind of cool. I figured I should check it out, but for whatever reason, it took me forever to watch this movie. I finally sat down and watched it last night, and the first thing I will say is if you are uncomfortable with torture and rape and discussion of such, this is not a movie for you. This is the kind of a movie that while you're watching it, you almost feel like you shouldn't be watching it. It's also shot in the style of found footage and documentary, and the found footage is literally supposed to be found footage. They're investigating a serial killer, and they find these tapes in a house in Poughkeepsie, and hence the name, the Poughkeepsie Tapes. There are several hundred of these tapes, and 75% of them or more are of the same girl. She was brutalized and victimized and tortured and raped over a very extended period of time. But the other percentage of the tapes, I'll say 20 to 25% of the tapes, are of this guy. And you never see his face. So, spoiler alert. There you go. You never see the guy. It's of him capturing, kidnapping, torturing, and killing several other people. So, it was compelling. I was definitely very interested from start to finish. These types of movies, although they make me feel uncomfortable, it doesn't bother me to watch them because I simply know that it's not real. But it's definitely a different level of horror movie. This is not the type of horror movie that you would ever see playing at your local cinema either. This is something that is, like I said, if you're weak at heart or you get emotionally bothered by rape, torture, and just brutality, stay away from this movie. If that type of stuff doesn't bother you and you enjoy watching horror movies like that, unfortunately, sometimes I am one of those people that kind of stuff doesn't bother me at all, really. Makes me feel uncomfortable, but that uncomfortable feeling is, it doesn't bother me. It's entertaining for me, simply because I know that it's not real, obviously. I don't want you guys thinking I'm crazy. But I would say that if you like that found footage style of movie, to go ahead and watch the Poughkeepsie Tapes. It was pretty good. Also, not great. I don't know how soon I'll be watching it again. I'm glad that I watched it. I was very much looking forward to watching it. And now that I've seen it, I'm sure I'll probably watch it again at some point, but I would be in no rush to see it. I would say this is another one that was just good. And the last thing I just watched actually this morning, was a 1-hour movie. It's a Shudder original, and it's called Host. This movie very much feels like, I don't know if you've seen the Unfriended movies. It's Unfriended and Unfriended Dark Web. It feels a lot like that. It's all shot through like Skype calls, and like I said, it feels just like those other two movies for the most part. The difference is, this one was shot this movie was made in 2020. And the reason that all of these people are on Skype is because of COVID-19. So I thought that was very attractive. It was a very good idea, for these people to make this movie spur of the moment. They had to have started making this movie right away after the outbreak happened in the United States. Because that was only March, and this is August. So 5 months. Between 5 and 6 months they've had to come up with the idea for this, cast the movie, shoot the film, edit the movie, sell the movie, and get it out. I just think that it's, well, I don't know, sell. It's a Shudder original, whatever. But inside of a period of 5 to 6 months, this movie was conceived as well as produced, and I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was really, really good. It's a group of friends on a Skype call. One of them invites in I don't know, I wouldn't call her a clairvoyant, like a medium of some sort, who can speak to and communicate with spirits and pets. Dead pets are even mentioned in the movie. Weird, but who cares? You don't have to worry about dead pets in this movie. They don't do any of that. It's just mentioned. But things go sideways in this as well. Things don't turn out the way that they expect, and it's pretty creepy. I thought it was really good. Of the 4 movies I watched this week, The Taking of Deborah Logan was absolutely the best of all of them. I would say the one that I would be the least compelled to watch again was We Summon the Darkness. Good movie, not a great movie, but I would say if I'm going to suggest to you any of these movies to watch, definitely The Taking of Deborah Logan, and definitely Host on Shudder. If you have Shudder, you can get it through Amazon. It's fantastic, and there's tons of stuff on that channel. So that's going to do it for this week. I know it's a reasonably quick video, but like I said, I had a little bit of stuff going on this week. I was only able to get to 4 movies. So hopefully I'll do better next time. If you guys like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you really like this video and you've been enjoying my content to this point, please do me a huge personal favor. Click that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. If you guys have anything that you want me to watch to include on next week's Fright Flick Friday, leave it in the comment section below and we'll talk about it. Take care of yourself, take care of each other, have a kick-ass day, and thank you for watching. Later, folks.